So I'm having a little trouble with Restream today, but let's give this a shot. So I got approved to be a, what's it called, a Twitter developer the other day, which means it's now time to try to get this Twitter thread thingy actually done and connected to Twitter. So let's see, where was I? What are the differences here? I think this is me getting it to actually work to log in. So let's give that a shot. Git commit -m login actually works, and I have no idea if the chat room is going to work on today's stream, but I guess we will see. So if I say yarn start, that starts Gatsby in develop mode, and I can go do stuff. And the idea today, the goal today is that we are going to connect, do a Twitter login, and then try to use the Twitter API to do stuff from this app that we're building. We'll see how it works. And until then, let's see, localhost 8000. I'm going to verify that the basic login still works. So I log in. That shows up. I say login with Google. Swizets@swizets.com. Something went wrong. And let's try that again then. It worked last time, so I'm gonna try again. Sometimes you need to restart a couple times and then it starts working all of a sudden for no apparent reason. So we're logging in, see, and now it worked. I can log out as Swizet Stellar, and that's about it. So I have my energy drink here. Let's see. Auth0 login with Twitter. Connect your app to Twitter. Let's see. We need to create a Twitter application first. So that happens here. See, I can now click this because this button wasn't working until I got approved as a Twitter developer. So create an app name. I'm gonna call it Thread Builder. It started as Thread Compiler, but I think Thread Builder is going to be easier for people to understand. Let's see if threadbuilder.com is allowed. I mean, if it exists. So I'm gonna quickly buy that domain while I still can. Now domain by threadbuilder.com. Threadbuilder.com is unavailable. What about threadbuilder.app.io? Do you thread writer? Okay, let's stick with thread compiler for now, and we can always change it later. So we have a thread compiler. Application, share description of your app. This description will be visible to users, so this is a good place to tell them what your app does. Write beautiful Twitter threads in a convenient markdown format. As many tweets as you want. Convenient Twitter format. Hey, neckmitten, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. But hey, threadcompiler.com. Allow this application to be used to sign in with Twitter, yes. Okay, so let's see. What do we have any prereqs for what we're doing? So log into Twitter developer, create an app, provide the required stuff. So our callback is https threadcompiler.auth0.com login callback. Is that our domain? Let's see, auth0.com. Nico, I like that. Is it Nico or Neko? What are you up to today? So log in. Let's see. Dashboard, yeah. my applications, thread compiler auth0.com, thread compiler auth0.com, blah, your namespace, get your consumer key and consumer secret. Okay. Terms of service, you will require a link to your app's terms. If you'd like to enable advanced permissions settings, you can add this later as well. So I'm just gonna use the let's see, do I have that? Terms of service.html, I used to have that. No, I know I have privacy.html because I borrowed this from somewhere because I needed it. Wizards.com tos.html. Nope. Alright, I'm gonna have to, let me add a, where is it? I'm gonna add a little to-do that I need in terms of service. Terms of service.html. Cool. Got that. Organization name, Swizets LLC, organization website, https, swizets.com. This field is only visible. Help us understand how your app will use. What will it enable you and your customers to do? Location autocomplete for my app, done with backend. That sounds cool. What kind of location autocomplete are you building and what are you using to do that? So tell us how your app will be used. Enable user, give users a simpler interface to create Twitter threads. Think of it as a blog, as a tiny blogging platform built on top of Twitter, so people makes it easier to write long-ish form content and then distribute it to followers. Create. Be careful about using Twitter data to derive. We are not doing that. We're not conversable. If your app will be used to post tweets, follow accounts, or send direct messages, you should carefully review the automation rules to ensure you comply with our guidelines and never perform bulk, aggressive, or spammy actions. Gonna have to be careful about that. Create. Cool. So I got that. Now let's see. Copy your consumer key, Auth0 dashboard, connections, social. Do I have to zoom this in? I think I do have to zoom this in. Okay, so Twitter, name Twitter, leave blank to use. Let's see, what is Nico talking about? Ah, I cannot go to Twitter right now. Basic profile, reveal consumer secret. Okay, so where do I get those? Keys and tokens. Consumer API key. Consumer token. This is something I should not be showing you on the live stream, but such is life. Okay, so reveal, save, so applications, default thread compiler, save, cool. And now I'm going to turn, let's see, Google applications, I'm going to turn it off for thread compiler. We want people to log in with Twitter because we want them to be using Twitter, right? Cool, so I got that. Consumer key, click save, enable the connection, test your connection, and then access Twitter API. Once you successfully authenticate a user, Twitter includes an access token in the user profile. It returns to Auth0. You can then use this token to call their API. In order to get a Twitter access token, you have to retrieve the full user's profile using the Auth0 management API and extract the access token from the response. For detailed steps, refer to call an identity provider API. Once you have the token, you can call the API following Twitter's documentation. Cool. So let's log out. Okay, the logout is kind of weird. Logout needs to navigate you back to the home page so that it updates. So let's see. Now when I click login, I no longer have Google. I have login with Twitter. We should really find a way to disable logging in with username and password, but login with Twitter, authorized thread compiler, yes, cool. So we now should be logged in, right? Yeah, we have tokens and shit. Cool. Now let's see, how do I call? Can I change what kind of permissions we need? So we have read and write. Okay, cool. That's perfect. Wonderful. So we're now connected to Twitter. We didn't have to change any of the code. Now the next step is calling an identity provider API so that we can see what's going on. From the back end, from the front end, with the public application SPA, native desktop or mobile app, then this is the place to be. As you might have read earlier in this article, the process for calling IDP APIs from a backend process includes the following steps. You cannot follow the same process from a front-end app because it's a public application that cannot hold credentials securely. The credential we're referring to is the machine-to-machine application secret, which you use to make the call to Auth token at the first step of the process. So you can build a process in your backend and expose it to your application as an API that will do the stuff and use webtask. If you don't have a backend server, you don't want to set up one, then you can leverage serverless technology using webtasks. Webtasks are the Auth0 way to create HTTP endpoints with Node.js and access them from anywhere. It's a way to safely execute server-side logic when you do not have a backend. They come with a command line tool and an editor. For more information, webtasks, in this scenario, you will create a webtask and implement the steps of the backend section. Then the webtask will call the IDP's API so the access token is never exposed to your public application. Your application will invoke the webtask with a simple HTTP request and manipulate the response appropriately. For example, render the user's GitHub repositories in the UI. That sounds complicated. Okay, so what do you think? If we build our own backend, we can put that on a Lambda of some sort, which makes sense because I am going to want to do what? What am I going to want to do? I'm going to want to do this stuff from the backend, aren't I? Oh, cool. That's awesome. So this is from serverless, AWS, cool. Well, that's just perfect. Thank you for that find, Nico, I still don't know. Let's see, how does that work? I can log in with the GitHub, authorize serverless, and then I can call the public API. It says hi from public, call protected, only logged in users can see this. And if I log out and call protected API, it says very nice. Let's see how that works then. And this is why live coding is such a great thing. So this is an example of how to protect API endpoints with Auth0, JSON Web Tokens, and a custom authorizer Lambda. Custom authorizers allow you to run an AWS Lambda function before your targeted AWS Lambda function. This is useful for microservice architectures or when you simply want to do some authorization before running your business logic. Okay. API routes, rate limiting, cool. Uh-huh. Okay. Let's git status. So I have a bunch of Gatsby set up here. Let's see what does the handler do. I want to check if it might be easier to not use AWS and use either Now or Netlify. Because I find AWS to be a little terrifying, especially when it comes to all of this stuff. Hey Fuzzy Buddy, how are you doing today? Okay. Secrets. Okay. Let's I'm gonna try this because it already exists, and building all of this from scratch doesn't sound like a lot of fun, does it? Yeah, no, it does not. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna copy paste a lot of this stuff into new files here, and we're going to create a so I already have a now JSON. Let's see how hard it would be to make a now lambda. Just want to see how hard this would be. Lambdas. When you make a new deployment, serverless lambdas, edge caches. Okay, I don't feel like figuring all of that out now. So we're gonna use the already existing example. So I'm going to make a directory called, what should we say? So threadcompiler.com has the front end and the back end. For the back end, I'm going to create a directory called backend, server, backend. Let's call it backend. So we have backend, and then we're going to make a new file that is going to be serverless, and this serverless is going to look the same as it does here. Thread compiler backend serverless.yaml. Okay, so then we need a secrets example JSON. Let's see, secrets, get your client ID and plug in your Auth0 in a new file called secrets.json. Okay, so secrets example, or rather, let's see, new file, secrets.json that looks like what? So it has this, And then secrets example has a Auth0 client ID with my client ID, which I get here. That's my client ID. And again, I'm going to be very kind of loosey-goosey with my security practices here, because we're already hard coding our client ID here and stuff. So, I'm not too worried about that leaking, I guess, even though it's called secrets. So we have that public key, which we put in public key. So how do I get le public key? Get your public key under application, app name settings, advanced settings, certificates, download certificates. So applications, settings, advanced settings, certificates. Which one do we take? Download certificate. Download certificate as a PAM file, and we save that in random coding, thread compiler. Where you at? TTT. So clearly I'm not very good at the whole what's it called? Let's call it thread compiler.pem. Save it up. Okay, so move backend thread compiler pem to backend public key. Okay, so we got that. And then we have serverless deploy and grab the public and private endpoints. So now I need the handler.js file, which I'm again gonna copy pasta from here. So new file, blah, save handler.js, and I'm going to look at what we need for dependencies. It's just JSON web token, so yarn add JSON web token. We add that. So my N key kind of messes up sometimes, which is unfortunate. So we have the JSON web token. Yeah, exactly. So my N key doesn't work very well, and I think the company that makes my keyboard has stopped making keyboards, and I've been trying to get a new one, but they haven't been replying to my messages. They're supposed to be coming out with a new model. They haven't yet, so I'm stuck with a half-broken N key. Okay, so we now say serverless.deploy. So git add dot git commit -a -m, copy pasta serverless auth backend from here. Not end key, but the N key. So I can't show you. I don't. Oh, actually, I can do this. Okay, this is hard to aim, but this key is the one that kind of doesn't work sometimes. Yeah. Okay, tripod, go the right way. How am I typing? If I'm violent enough with the N key, it seems to work well enough. So we got that. We now go to the backend and we say serverless deploy, and serverless offline is not fine. Okay, yarn add serverless -offline. Now backend serverless deploy. Let's see. Okay, yes, I want to allow you to do cloud formation shit, whatever that is. Now we're gonna have, I need to wait to get my endpoints, and then we can do stuff. Okay, so I believe I swap AWS credentials. Are there AWS credentials in here? I don't think there's any credentials in here. I think I'm logged into AWS in my CLI. That was something I did back when I was doing what's it called? Tech letter. When I was back when I was making this app, I think I took care of all the AWS logins and stuff. So luckily, unlike Nico, I have just one AWS set of credentials, so it should be fine. But I guess we'll see what happens. Okay, so that got deployed. Now I can go to Auth0, and we're going to add, what's it called? So we have const public endpoint equals this stuff, and I'm gonna put it in here because I think that makes the most sense, but I can always refactor later, right? So I do like the React style of prettifying stuff. And then we have const private endpoint, which equals this other stuff. Okay, so we got that. Now let's deploy frontend to host, block, custom authorizer functions. Okay, so frontend, let's see how that works. App.js, I'm still gonna use the same fetch and shit that they use, but I wanna see how it works. So where do they have fetch? So we're gonna go here in our, so this is Gatsby, index.js, thread container. Here we have a login button. We're going to add a what's it called? Okay, I'm just gonna add a button here that says actually, let's do this. Private public is going to be a thingy. So here we say const or actually let's import it. Import private. Actually, you know what? We can do that as part of the login button because that's where we're doing most of our experimentation, so we can do it there as well. So we have is authenticated, we return blah, but on top of that I want to return so const login is actually going to export default a method that does all of this stuff. So it's going to return a div that has the login button, and it's also going to have a button with on click equals call API, or let's do it this way, button on click equals call public, and we're going to say ping public API, and we're going to have a button with on click equals call private that's going to ping private API. So that's that. And I don't have any styling right now, so the buttons are gonna look really bad. But we can then have a call public in Auth0. I'm actually going to export these guys. Come on. Export const public, export const private. So that's that. Then we can go back to the login button and we import auth and private endpoint and public endpoint from there. And here we say const call public equals what should it equal? Right, so const call public is a method that does what? It's going to await fetch public endpoint with cache of no store and method of post. And await, so const res equals that, const data equals await res.json, and this is an async function because otherwise it's not going to work. So we have that, and once we get the data we say set message equals data called data.message. Which theme on VS Code am I using? You can check that out because I don't actually remember anymore. It's on gists. So my cloud settings are all up here. So this is, you can find the theme I'm using in there somewhere. I don't actually know where exactly, but I know it's there. So we have set message is data.message, and I'm going to console log data because I'm curious what it is. And then for const, I think for call private, it's going to be similar. The private endpoint. Okay, actually, let's make sure this one works first. So then we have const message and set message equals use state with a default of nothing, and we import use state from React. Why is this not okay, so click-through mode. What is Prettier complaining about? Because I have a const here. Cool, so get out of, close Prettier. So that's kind of confusing. Now we have the login button, then we have that, and here we're going to have a paragraph with the message, right? Is defined but never used. Warning, call private is not defined. So const call private is going to be const call private is an async method that for starters does nothing. Okay, so I'm now logged in, and for some reason let's restart Gatsby because I'm not seeing my changes right now, and I do want to see my changes. Restart. Okay, that's restarting kind of slowly. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Okie doke. Still kind of slow. I think maybe my computer is busy with processing something. Remove cache. That's a good idea. But right now it's not even showing anything, which is pretty strange. So it compiled with warnings. I don't care about those. Let's see. Sometimes it helps to start a new tab. It makes it faster. did make it faster. Okay, ping public API, ping private API. You know, I forget what the F part does. Access to fetch from origin has been blocked by course policy. No access control allow origin header is present. Right. So how do we fix course? How old? This is old. So course. Let's see. We go to the handler. Put it into React mode, and then let's see. Where are the headers? Status code required for course support to work. Access control allow credentials. So this is supposed to be allowing everything. But it's returning a 502 error. So let's go to my AWS console, and hopefully I can figure out what the AW error is, or yeah. So 10 high 10, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I know that I can't type back to the Facebook chat room. I can only speak to you. So if I go to, let's go to my lambdas. There should be a new lambda there now. It's still just screenshot as a service. So check the region. Good idea. So serverless, there's US West 2. So US West, okay, that's 1. US West 2. There we go. Interesting. Cool. So which one of them threw an error? AWS Amazon CloudWatch logs. Where can I see that? Help. So let's go back to AWS US West 2. This is very confusing that there are so many different regions and that they actually mean stuff. Yeah, go into CloudWatch. Logs. So let's see. You were called, okay, that seems correct. Error at function model resolve name. Unable to import module handler. Okay, so handler, handler.auth, handler.public endpoint, handler.blah, handler.js. So why would it be unable to import that? Okay, so load module.js, handler.js line 1, line 1. Interesting. I don't know what that means. Maybe because I guess I don't have a package JSON in there. So if we go, let's copy, because this is all like using the parent directory. So maybe if I copy package JSON to here, and we go into package JSON and we, wow, why? Thread compiler backend blah. Oh wait, which one am I actually changing? Don't save. We want to go to backend package JSON, and this is going to be threadcompiler.com minus backend private true fine backend for threadcompiler.com. Author is Swizardsteller, swizards@swizards.com. Then we don't need that. We only need JSON Web Token, I believe. Oh, and serverless offline. So let's see. Here, if we look at their package JSON, what do they have? Yeah, JSON Web Token and blah. So I can actually move this to dev dependencies. Yes, fine. Okay, keywords, fine. AWS. We don't have scripts. Dev dependencies, prettier. I'm gonna remove that. Repository. Why is all of this here? That is so confusing. Okay. Cool. So if we try serverless deploy again, that might make it work. We'll see if it does. It's kind of confusing having two package JSONs in the same. Right, this is not valid JSON. Oh yeah. They don't have that here, so I'm not gonna include it. I'm just curious if it's gonna work this way. Oh yeah, these ones are strong. This is gonna be too much caffeine for this late in the evening. So now we see if this deploys. Or I'm pretty sure it's gonna deploy, but the real question is whether it's going to work. Okay. So yeah, the public endpoint was the one that we actually called. Now let's see, are those still the same? Auth.js, 2x, vv, blah. Cool. Now let's see if we reload this. I like reloading things because it makes me feel more safe about what I'm actually doing. Now if we click, no, what did I click? Log out. So log in and then ping public API. No, it still throws a 502 error. 502. So what is a 502 error? I think actually the, what's it called? The course error is a red herring, because the real error is 502 and those always have problems with course. So why isn't this working? File secrets JSON public key. Okay, I am not sure what to do here. What happens if we try running handler? Seems to work. Error at function module resolve file name. Let's see. 10, what do you mean by check path for it? Because it's like right there. It's all in the same directory, so I'm not sure what's wrong. Unable to import module index. That seems promising. I'd greatly appreciate blah. I'm having the same problem following the tutorial. Detect this. I had the same, only crap 2 hours wasted. Thanks up and solution person. Where's the solution person? Oh, zipping the content of the folder instead of the folder itself. There. Where do I check that? I don't think I can go. I don't know how to go check my so handler. Okay. What if we say backend/handler auth? Okay, let's see. AWS Lambda console. Where did it go? So AWS Lambda. And we look at this one. How do I check the content? So handler.js is right there. And it seems like it should work, right? So that's all there. Basic settings, execution role, debugging, concurrency. So it looks like the file is actually there, and it seems to be named correctly, but it's pretending like it's not there. I wonder if this is the problem. What happens if I change this to be /? The module name export value in your function, for example, index.handler cons exports.handler in index.js. Is there an index.js file here that I'm missing? No. So this just calls handler directly. Then we have handler blah. Yeah, I'm not sure what the problem is here. Anyone seeing what could be wrong that has more experience with AWS and Lambdas? Can try to click for test. Where is that? on the top. Okay. Test. Where did the output of the test go? Failed. Logs. Cannot find module JSON web token. Huh. Okay. Why? So AWS Lambda. No. So serverless cannot find thing. Yeah, but I know I don't have node modules in there. Question is, why don't I have node? Oh wait, what if I say npm install here? Maybe that's what I did wrong. Aha! So now if we say serverless deploy, now it might work. So I guess when I created a package JSON, I should have also ran npm install again in that directory, which I guess makes sense because apparently serverless doesn't run it automatically on AWS, which I guess that does make sense. So now we're gonna see if this works, and then I'm gonna stop live coding and we're gonna continue tomorrow, especially if it works. So ping public API, yay! Ping private API. Oh, ping private API doesn't work yet. Okay, so git status, git add dot, git log. I did not actually commit -m get serverless backend working for public API. Cool. Now let's implement the private API, and then I'm actually gonna stop live coding and we're gonna continue tomorrow. So how does the private endpoint work? We need to get the token from local storage. So Auth0, does that have a get token method? No, we're gonna do it here. Get token equals blah, and if local storage dot get item of what's it called, ID token, then return. Actually, we just return that. So return local storage blah. Cool. Like that. Then we go into login.js and we make a call private method that says const token equals auth.getToken, and then says const res equals await fetch of private endpoint blah, cache of no store, no, method is post, and headers are authorization with a bearer token, like that. Then when we get the response, we say const data equals await res.json, and when we have that, we console log the data and set message as data.message. Right? Right. Cool. So now let's see if that works. Ping private API. Yay, only logged in users can see this. Cool. So that worked. We now have a way of talking to our public API and a way to talk to our private API. And tomorrow I'm gonna work on using those tokens on the serverless Lambda to actually talk to Twitter and try to send a tweet, and then we can take it from there. And if that works, yeah. So log out, and it says unauthorized. Ping public works, ping private does not work. Cool. So that was pretty cool. I'm gonna commit that. Git status git commit -m MVP talking to private serverless API. We push that to origin master, and now I'm gonna go work on some other stuff, or maybe I should just go to bed. It's pretty late already. Anyway, we're gonna continue this tomorrow, and I think I'm also gonna have a write-up about some other stuff tomorrow morning. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I will see you tomorrow evening, probably around the same time as today. See ya, guys.